You have promised that under your tenure, by the time you are through, that Nigeria will never be the same again. So even from the achievement so far made by the Ministry of Interior in terms of identifying and picking up criminals at the point of entry, it shows that even before assenting to this bill, that a bill is already working. The President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, my brother, the Deputy Speaker, and all dignitaries in the House. Let me single out the country representative of the World Bank for coming all the way to witness this epoch-making occasion. Mr. President, I don't think, if I speak, we are going to reopen the debate on why we passed this piece of legislation for you to assent to become an act of parliament today. But let me say it's part of your innovation, part of your intuition, part of your reforms for Nigeria. You have promised that under your tenure, by the time you are through, that Nigeria will never be the same again. So even from the achievement so far made by the Ministry of Interior in terms of identifying and picking up criminals at the point of entry, it shows that even before assenting to this bill, that a bill is already working. And my brother has also mentioned the advantages. So mine is to say congratulations to you for the innovation, and congratulations to the National Assembly for interpreting your vision, and congratulations to the Ministry of Interior, and particularly Our Lady in NIMSI for the work they are going to do in being able to ensure that this piece of legislation is well implemented. And for our partners, the World Bank, thank you for being a part of this history. Thank you, Mr. President.
Your Excellency, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Federal Republic, my leader, the head of the National Assembly, the President of the Senate, my big brother, Senator Akpabio, the leader of the House, Professor Julius Ihonvere, the members of the Executive Council. Let me leverage the position of the Attorney General of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, our development partners, especially the World Bank, and other senior aides of Mr. President in this room. Mr. President, I'm just coming from London, and I was invited by Chatham House and the UK Parliament, as well as the incidents happening in London now with regards to climate change and the need to bring investors to Nigeria. Mr. President, in the conversation that took place, whether it be security that they inquired about, whether it be electoral affairs that they inquired about, whether it's about investors coming into Nigeria, the issue of digital transformation was central to the conversation. The issue of data, statistics was central. The world is aware that our NIMSI Act of 2007 was obsolete, and the world also had been monitoring that effort was being made towards retooling, redefining, re-equipping that piece of legislation to become what is fit for purpose, considering our current realities. And they were waiting to hear from us, when is it going to become an instrument that we'll use in building our nation. I assured them that we have completed our work as Parliament, that the executives sponsored this bill, and we have completed our work as Parliament, that in no distance time that the President was going to be given his assent. Little did I know that I'll be getting a call just yesterday to fly in this morning to join for this historic event. Mr. President, today marks a historic milestone in Nigeria's digital transformation, the signing of the new National Identity Management Commission, NIMSI Act 2026. It reflects that the federal government of Nigeria's bold commitment to building a robust, trusted, and inclusive identity ecosystem is something that the President has taken seriously, and also to better the laws of Nigerians. This landmark legislation expands NIMSI mandate. It provides a strong legal framework for digital identity and verification, and paves the way for the implementation of the National Public Key Infrastructure, NPKI. The NPKI will enable secure electronic transactions, which most of these investors that we were marketing just last week at the Climate Investment Week in London have been asking about. Digital signatures will be enabled, as well as authentication, and it will enhance cyber security across government and private sector services. This achievement, Mr. President, builds on NIMSI's remarkable progress under the leadership of the Director General, Engineer Dr. Abisoye Kuka Udusode. And I cannot agree any less with my brother Tunji that you chose the right peg for the right hole. The lady that is occupying this position has made us proud. The conversation we had with her when we were going through this piece of legislation shows her thorough understanding of what the needs of our country were and what needed to be done to solve them. The Commission has significantly scaled the NIN enrollment, expanded access through front-end partners, strengthened data security, introduced self-service platforms, and extended services to the underserved communities and the diaspora. It has also modernized its infrastructure and improved interoperability with other institutions. Mr. President, as we celebrate this act, we recognize that laws alone do not transform nations. What matters most is a collective commitment to faithful and effective implementation of this piece of legislation. Mr. President, we envision a Nigeria where every citizen has a trusted digital identity, which is the intention of this act. Government services are seamless, which is the intention of this act, and businesses transact securely. Fraud is minimized, giving confidence to investors who want to come to our country. We want to thank you for thinking in this direction. Legacy by legacy, reform by reform, brick by brick, you are building the wall of this nation. Digital trust drives innovation, Mr. President, and it also drives prosperity. On behalf of the House of Representatives, I express deep appreciation to Mr. President, the National Assembly under the leadership of the Senate President, the Supervising Ministry, and the National Identity Management Commission, the development partners for all the work you have done from the back of the curtain, and all stakeholders for making this milestone possible. Together, let us build a secure and inclusive and digitally empowered Nigeria, one trusted identity at a time. Thank you, Mr. President. God bless you and bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
So today, I'm happy to say that the bill for the alteration of the Constitution for the establishment of state police in Nigeria was passed today. That is alteration number 6. And of course, I have no doubt in my mind, this is something that will be welcomed by every Nigerian. I kept saying that a lot of people misunderstood the call for the creation of state police. There are many reasons. And of course, what I can say here is that even when we lost it in 2020, at that time, myself and some of my colleagues who believe in the creation of state police agree on one fact, that it's just a matter of time before state police is established in Nigeria. So we have to give a lot of credit to President Bola Tinubu, who submitted the bill. It's an executive bill.
Yeah. Procedurally, this bill was laid before the National Assembly yesterday. Today it passed second reading. Do you see?
And like you said, it has been on the lips of every Nigerian, and including investors in Nigeria, because this is a problem that appears to have defied all solutions and appears to have overwhelmed our police force and other security agencies. So our government, being the APC government, under the leadership of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who came on board to correct the anomalies that have been facing this country. It started by restructuring our economy, coming up with very fruitful and viable economic policies. But yet this insecurity have been a problem drawing us, backwards. So he came up with that executive bill, even though that bill had, before now been introduced by members of the parliament, because it's very obvious that our federal police has been overwhelmed by the security challenges in Nigeria. Nobody can deny that, because this has lasted for over 20 years. It didn't start today. So yesterday, the 10th Senate, under the leadership of Senator Godswill Akpabio as the president of the Senate, made history, by passing that bill, amending some sections of our Constitution, in particular about Chapter 6, Section 214, and other sections that has to do with the establishment of the Nigerian police force. So we have to think with those provisions, to devolve the powers of security, down to the states. And by what we've done, we have established state police, thereby shifting from unilateral unitary system of policing in Nigeria to federal system of policing, meaning that states now who wants to establish state police can go ahead and make a law of the state assembly to establish state police to meet their local security needs. And I believe that this is a giant stride, being taken by the present administration to solve this problem once and for all. And I think we deserve an applause from Nigerians.
Yes, there are fears of abuse. So it is in everything. Nothing is good or bad. Only your thinking makes it so. I think there is a genuine fear of abuse. But I believe the National Assembly, particularly, will come up with do's and don'ts in the practice of the police to provide safeguards against abuse. Many people have feared that various state governors will use the police to achieve their own selfish interests. Yes, if nothing is done to prevent it, it will happen. But many other countries that practice the state police, there are safeguards which should be provided to avoid that. And Nigeria shouldn't be an exception. We can't, because of the fear of abuse, not practice what we consider to be most ideal for a country as big as this country. It doesn't make sense at all that a country as big as Nigeria with 30 states and FCT, you have one single person on whose table the security affairs of the country are decided. No, it is amorphous. It should be decentralization is the answer, so that each governor will be solely responsible for the security of lives and property in the state. But if it is left as it is today, you can't blame any governor for what happens in his state. Especially at this time, each state governor should be responsible for lives and property in each state. And you cannot say that the governors are the chief security officers of their states. And the governors, they cannot be given the chance to direct the commissioner of police in their state what they'll do. It doesn't make sense at all. That's my view.